This is your daily reminder. God has not run out of mercy, not for you, not today. Welcome to the New Mercies Podcast. Welcome back, Monday, March the 9th. And our reading plan today takes us back once again to Luke 21. I know you think, I've been in Luke 21 already a couple times. There's a lot of end time stuff. What's going on? I want to encourage you today, read it, fresh eyes, fresh ears. Yesterday, Sunday, I preached this text. Now, here's the funny thing. So I don't know if you realize what I do whenever I record these episodes, but I have recorded this days before I preach that sermon. It's kind of strange, I know, but I want to share with you something today that I don't think is going to be in the sermon, but I don't really know for sure. So if it was, maybe you need to hear it twice. Here's what I'll say about our text today. Luke 21, again, a big chapter, a lot of stuff going on, some things that would happen pretty close to when Jesus said it, some things that would take place many years later in his prophetic word. And so I want to share something today that is out of Luke 21, found down lower than we were, a little further down than we were on Friday. We talked about on Friday the wars, the persecutions, how he was going to give us the words to say and when to say it and how we got to depend on him, right? I want to read to you just a couple verses down further than that. Down in verse number 25 is where I'm going to start. And as we do that today, I want to encourage you, listen, fresh ears, fresh eyes, I promise you, new mercies are available today. Just because you're reading the same chapter doesn't mean there's not something new that God can bring out. It may not be a life-altering Bible study. It may not be one of those moments where you say, I just experienced everything makes sense now. I get it all. Maybe that's not one of those moments today. Maybe it is. What a moment, though, when you get in His Word, you hear from the author. So let's pray and say, God, I want you to speak to me today through your Word. Give me fresh eyes, fresh ears. Let me see and hear from you today. So here's what the Lord is telling me today about this text. Luke 21, down in verse number 25. And there will be signs in the sun and moon and stars, and on the earth distress of nations in perplexity because of the roaring of the sea and the waves, people fainting with fear, with foreboding of what is coming on the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken, and then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now when these things begin to take place, straighten up, raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. This is one of those moments, I wish I could hear Jesus' voice as he's saying it. I hear it, I watch it, I read it, and I think the heavens are going to show signs. The sun, the moon, the stars, things are going to be shaken. He made it all. He can shake it all, right? He made everything. He can shake everything. This is going to announce the coming of the Lord back again. This is a powerful moment. And here's what I love, how Jesus explains this. When that happens, you're going to see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. He's going to show up in a cloud. When was he in a cloud before? Let's go back to the Exodus. Let's go back to leading the whole Israelite people by a cloud by day and fire by night. And he's protected them from the Pharaoh and the Egyptian army. And he's this powerful cloud that had dropped on Sinai and had spoken to Moses and had filled the tabernacle. And this is the one who's coming. I love the thought of Jesus coming back and returning and watching that happen in the sky. There's going to be no doubt who he is. It says the world is even going to say, something's coming, something's happening, something's different today. And then they're going to see the Son of Man. A title that is used to Jesus 80 times in the New Testament. And again in Revelation, even at the end of the New Testament. Like there are 80 times this title is used for Jesus. He's the Son of Man. And when he returns, we're going to have no doubt who he is. The last verse in that little section, he says, straighten up and raise your head. That word raise your head is in the original language, it's an extension or a stretching of the neck specifically. And so what it means is as everybody is hunkering down, right? Here it is. Picture this. He says in there that the people are fainting with fear, foreboding what's coming on the world. They see all these things going on. Well, that is a term of crouching, right? They're bent down, crouching. They don't want to know what's coming up. But he says, for you, straighten up and raise your neck. Raise your head. You don't cower down. You know that you're on my side. So I want you to be looking to the sky. As I said before, one of the greats, Mr. Vance Havner, once said, "I'm no longer looking at signs. I'm now listening for a trumpet. I'm now looking up, ready for his return." That's what I'm waiting on now. I think about every moment that the world doesn't understand. There's more chaos and more confusion in the world, and I know that God is not confused at all. He's not falling off his throne. He's not pacing the floor of heaven. What am I going to do now that this nation just rose against this nation? What am I going to do now that this corruption's going on in this government, and this corruption's going on in this school system, and this corruption's going on in this family? What am I going to... He's not worried at all. He says, "I am waiting on the moment where the Son of Man will return on a cloud, and I want my people to have their necks stretched, their eyes up, looking for that day. While the world is confused and afraid, I want my people to be courageous." That's what I want. He goes on, and he then, right after this, he teaches a parable. How do you teach a parable after that statement? The Son of Man will return. Me, that's Jesus. He's saying, me, I'm going to return in the clouds, and everybody's going to be afraid but my people. They're going to be ready. They're going to be arms lifted. They're going to have their heads straightened. They're going to look at me. They're going to look toward me is what's going to happen. They're going to be ready for the moment because I'm going to bring it all back around to where it's supposed to be. And then he teaches a lesson. He teaches a parable. He teaches a parable about trees. What in the world? If you read this just one time, it's like, but then he starts talking about trees. What's he talking about? There's some deep theological truths to the parable, but here's what I want to share. This is the last line of the parable. He says in verse number 33, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away." Jesus' word lasts. The whole span of time, there's one thing that will remain, and it's his word. And those of us who have followed and obeyed and put our faith and trust in his word. Who's his word? His word as the person is Jesus. He's the word. He was with God. He was with God in the beginning. He is the word. He is God. That's who this is. Jesus' word will not pass away. That means every single note that he spoke will come to pass. Things are going to pass away, but his word is not going to lose. It's going to win every time. Today, here's my encouragement to you. Look up. Just look up. Maybe take a moment, go outside, raise your head, and look up into the sky. There's a moment where that sky is going to look very different. Now, I don't know when that moment is. Maybe it happened before this podcast episode even went live. I don't know. What I do know is this. The moment the sky rips open, I want to be ready and prepared. I want to be prayed up. I want to be active in my faith. That's what I want in my life. Prophecy should never scare us. It should purify us. Jesus talking about the coming of the Son of Man should not scare us. It should purify us to be ready and waiting on his return.